Dangerous high surf tonight for the beaches of L.A., Ventura, and southern Santa Barbara counties. Monster waves did major damage to the Ventura Pier, causing it to be shut down. Now, that high surf took out a piling in other parts of the pier, causing major safety concerns.
It's been years since waves caused that kind of damage, and it's still unclear when the pier is going to reopen. CBS 2's Chris Holmstrom is live at the Ventura Pier, has an update for us. Chris?
Yeah, Pat and Jeff, the waves have been on and off all day long. Earlier today, they were so intense, they were so high. That's why they had to close this pier down. And at this point, we're not sure when this pier will open back up.
There was people standing at the edge of the pier when the wave hit, and it's obviously splashed everybody. Wave
watchers checking out the monster waves hitting the Ventura Pier, some of them 8 to 12 feet high. A high surf advisory in effect until Tuesday night, a sight to see for this woman from Oklahoma.
We have tornadoes there, but you guys have these big waves, and I don't know, it's beautiful. It's mesmerizing.
But with beauty comes danger. Ventura police sending out this tweet saying Ventura Pier closed due to high surf conditions and a lost pile and bracing. The pier will be closed to do a safety inspection until further notice.
Well, you can feel it shaking now, so I'm glad they closed it.
The closure forcing Beach House Tacos to close early as well. But the last time the Ventura Pier was closed was back in 2015. Powerful swells caused pilings to break away, something this guy remembers vividly.
And things were clunking around, and then the waves came, and that's what breaks the piers up. One thing will break loose, and it acts like a battering ram and knocks it all down.
The pier was rebuilt, but it was closed for several months. Now the closure length is unknown, but before safety inspectors can get out to check the pier, they have to wait for the surf to calm down.
Coming out of Gulf of Alaska and coming down, that's what happens at this time of year. There's a west and northwest swell. They're supposed to get bigger tomorrow.
Yeah, and the high surf warning goes into effect until tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And earlier today, we could feel this pier shake. Reporting live from Ventura Pier, I'm Chris Holmstrom, CBS 2 News.
All right, Chris, thank you. And it was a similar scene tonight in Orange County. This video was taken on Seal Beach. You can see surf is very strong there as well. Those dangerous conditions along the coast are expected to last through tomorrow.
CBS 2 meteorologist Amber Lee is here now with more on what we can expect. Amber.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Jeff. That's right. The high surf advisory continues with the waves expected to peak once we head into tomorrow. So that means they're going to get even bigger by the time we head into tomorrow morning and afternoon. So the high surf advisory goes up and down the coast from Ventura County to San Diego County. Here's a look at just how large the waves will get. To the north of us, there is a high surf warning. They're not even under an advisory. That means they're expecting even bigger waves, 12 to 20 foot waves. And then for Ventura County, 8 to 12 foot waves, 6 to 10 for LA County, and 6 to 9 for Orange County. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Amber. Breaking news now. Police say a man changing his tire in North Hollywood was shot and killed.
CBS 2's Tom Waite is on the scene for us, has details. Tom?
Yeah, Jeff and Pat, just a terrible scene out here. As you said, our understanding is this guy was changing his tire and was shot and killed. Take a live look. They're actually towing away the guy's car right now. They've got it on the tow bed. We're just off the 170 right now, and that's where we believe the guy was when he drove that gold color older model Cadillac into this parking lot, kind of right off the freeway. Take a look at some video. This is the scene a little earlier this evening as they had evidence markers and all kinds of other objects out here, kind of trying to piece this all together, this very deadly mystery. What we understand is the guy was on the freeway, got off, and then was changing his tire out here when these guys, we believe maybe two people, started shooting at the victim. Take a listen to what LAPD had to say.
It looks like that our victim may have pulled off the freeway, came into the parking lot to change a flat tire, and while changing the tire, he was confronted by at least one unknown male who fired multiple rounds, striking him and killing him.
So, of course, the big question is, why did this happen? Was it targeted? Was it random? They're investigating all those possibilities right now, including whether or not this could have been gang-related. But certainly we'll keep you posted when we find out those details. Reporting live, I'm Tom Waite. Back to you in the studio.
Tom, thanks very much. More breaking news now. This time in Chicago, 2 police officers were hit and killed by a train. The officers were responding to a shooting call, and then they were chasing a suspect on foot, and that's when they were hit. Both police officers killed at the scene.
A Southland woman who lost her grandson to gang violence is turning her grief into action. Wilma Galafe is behind a special billboard campaign called I Ain't From Nowhere. It's all about spreading a message about gang violence. Clear Channel donated 13 billboards. Wilma's grandson, Mark Tyree, was not a gang member, but he was the victim of a deadly drive-by shooting.
I'm not trying to pick a fight with the gang members. This is just a bunch of mothers trying to save their children.
Her grandson was killed in 2016. He was just 15 years old.
The man accused in a deadly shootout at a Trader Joe's in Silver Lake told a judge this afternoon he wants to plead insanity. 28-year-old Gene Atkins is waiving his right to an attorney and instead is representing himself. Ultimately, the judge entered a not guilty plea on behalf of Atkins. Trader Joe's assistant manager, Melly Corrado, was struck and killed by a police bullet during the shootout. She died. Atkins remains in jail on a $15 million bond.
CBS Board of Directors announced tonight that former CEO Leslie Moonves will not receive any severance pay following a sexual misconduct investigation.
That announcement comes after two law firms finished their investigation into allegations against Moonves.
And CBS 2's Jeff Vaughn is here now with more on what the Board of Directors had to say. Jeff.
Yeah, Pat and Jeff, we thought this information would come down this week, and it certainly did on this Monday. So Moonves resigned in September after a dozen women accused him of sexual misconduct and retaliation. This afternoon, the board of directors of CBS announced that it has concluded its investigation into former CBS chairman and CEO Leslie Moonves, CBS News, and cultural issues at CBS. In reference to Moonves, the board determined that it had grounds to terminate for cause, finding that Moonves had violated company policy and been in breach of his contract. They also accused him of willful failure to cooperate fully with the investigation. A board of directors also said Moonves will not get any severance pay. He had been in line for a $120 million payment. Moonves came under fire after a pair of New Yorker articles accused the CEO of sexual misconduct against women. As for CBS News and cultural issues, investigators found that harassment and retaliation were not pervasive at CBS. However, it went on to say the company's historical policies, practice, and structure did not prioritize preventing harassment and retaliation. Moonves issued a statement tonight saying the board's conclusions were foreordained and without merit. He went on to say he vehemently denies any non-consensual sexual relations and that he had cooperated extensively and fully with investigators. And as of this hour, it is not clear if the CBS board will release the findings of that investigation or not. Moonves, we're told, can appeal, but there's no word of that yet tonight. Back to you.
All right, Jeff, thank you. In the rapidly changing cannabis industry, there are growing pains when it comes to growing pot. With legal marijuana, licensed distributors are rigorously tested for chemical contaminants, but some producers are eager to pay for favorable lab results to avoid failing, and that means destroying their crop if they were to fail. The state recently shut down one lab accused of intentionally ignoring pesticides and allowing tainted cannabis to be sold in dispensaries.
We make a big deal about high fructose corn syrup and whether something's gluten-free or not gluten-free. I think it's time that people start paying attention to what's in your cannabis.
Well, just want to make sure that you get the cleanest product available, since we're ingesting all this.
Consumers should know that licensed dispensaries will always have testing labels, but it's still up to you to look for it.
We have to do something. This is a very tragic event.
A somber prayer vigil tonight for a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl who died while in U.S. Border Patrol custody. Members of the American Indian Movement organized the event in downtown L.A. Jacqueline Kalmakin arrived at the border in New Mexico with her father on December 6th.
While on a bus to another Border Patrol station, she began vomiting. Then she stopped breathing. She died the next day at a hospital in Texas. Her family and congressional leaders are calling for an investigation.
James Comey has harsh words for the president and politicians as he's summoned for another day of testimony on Capitol Hill. The former FBI director accused President Trump of trying to burn down the entire FBI, and he also blasted congressional Republicans for failing to push back against the president.
At some point, someone has to stand up and in the face of fear of Fox News, fear of their base, fear of mean tweets, stand up for the values of this country and not slink away into retirement.
Comey's comments came after his second interview with Republican-led committees on Capitol Hill. They accused the former FBI director of bias at the Justice Department before the 2016 election. Now, one state is about to lower its DUI limit to .05. That's the lowest in the nation.
Plus, a toddler chasing a bull right into traffic. You will hear from the Good Samaritan who scooped him up in the nick of time.
Detectives need your help after two nuns admit that they embezzled money from a Catholic school.
And Christmas chaos at Disneyland. What caused Santa's sleigh to flip, leaving St. Nick and his bag of toys.
It's not unusual to be
Just before Colbert, why a former Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star is suing the makers of the Fortnite video game.